Hey, did you ever notice how Zeus and Indra are similar? What? They could probably be friends. They both hold lightning, they're both the god of gods, they both get offended easily.
Huh?
Wow, do you like Greek mythology too? Yeah, I love Percy Jackson. The movies are so good! Shut up.
Indian mythology! Ever heard about it? What exactly is it and who are the main gods? Hinduism has thousands of gods, but the main ones are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They are known as the Holy Trinity. Brahma is the creator of the universe, Vishnu is the god of preservation, and Shiva is the destroyer. A lot of stories and scriptures are written about them, but the main god we'll be focusing on in this video is Vishnu, because Vishnu is known as Dashavatar. This refers to the 10 reincarnations of Vishnu. The main avatar that we'll be focusing on in the Mahabharata is Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita is a 700-verse conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. You'll find out who Arjuna is later. The Bhagavad Gita is one of the most famous Indian scriptures in Hindu culture. So, we'll be coming back to that later. The Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is a gigantically long story. No, seriously, it's 18 books long. So obviously, any length video wouldn't be enough to tell you the story in its entirety, but I'll be summarizing the Mahabharata for you. Side note, the names in the Mahabharata are extremely long, so if I mess up, please just ignore it. So, anyways, it all started 3 generations before the actual story happened, when there was this king named Kuru. Kuru had a wife named Ganga, and they had a kid named Bhishma. One day, the king saw this woman who was daughter of a fisherman named Satyavati. He wanted to marry her. Keep in mind, this was during a time when it was normal for kings to have multiple wives. He asked if she would be his wife, but she said no, because since he already had a wife and a kid, this meant that her kid could never become king. Because of this, Bhishma, Kuru's first kid, vowed to never get married or have kids so that Satyavati's kid could become heir to the throne. After that, Satyavati had 2 kids named Chitraganga and Vichitravidya. Chitraganga marries Ambika, and Vichitravidya married Ambalika. Chitraganga and Ambika have a kid named Dhritarashtra, and Vichitravidya and Ambalika have a kid named Pandu. Now, this is where the actual story begins. Dhritarashtra is the eldest but was born blind, which is why he wasn't considered fit for the throne. So the heir of the throne went to Pandu. Pandu then married Kunti and Madri. One time, Pandu went to the forest and he heard 2 deers, so he shot an arrow to kill them, but it turned out to be an old couple, and so they cursed him to never have kids. He then said he didn't want the throne because he was cursed. But Kunti had a boon. The boon was that she could ask the gods for a child at any time and they could give it to her. Pandu and Kunti had 5 kids, and they were called the Pandavas. The Pandavas are Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. After that, Pandu and his wives went to live in the forest. Pandu and Madri died, so now Kunti is left to take care of them. Meanwhile, Dhritarashtra has 101 kids, don't ask how. 100 were boys and 1 was a girl. I bet that gender reveal didn't go too well. They were called the Kauravas. The eldest of the Kauravas was Duryodhana. So, Bhishma wanted to make Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, king of the Kuru kingdom because he was the oldest out of all the Kauravas and Pandavas. But Duryodhana wanted to be the king. Dhritarashtra, the Kauravas' father, gave the Pandavas a desert and asked them to build their own kingdom. So then the Pandavas built a beautiful, magical palace. Everyone was amazed and wanted to see the palace. Duryodhana came to see the palace, but when he was there, he was so surprised and wonderstruck by the beauty of the palace that he didn't notice the fountain in front of him, and so he fell into the fountain. Draupadi and her maids were looking from the top floor, and one of the maids laughed. Duryodhana, feeling embarrassed, wanted revenge. Draupadi is all of the 5 Pandavas' wife. Anyways, Duryodhana invited the Pandavas and Draupadi to the Kuru kingdom and asked them to play the dice game. But dun dun dun, the dice was cursed. And so, Yudhishthira, the oldest of the Pandavas, played but lost everything he gambled for, including his wealth, kingdom, brothers, wife, and himself. Duryodhana now got the chance to insult Draupadi, so he asked his brother Dusasana to bring Draupadi to the court palace. Dusasana pulled her hair and dragged her to the court place. Then Duryodhana ordered Dusasana to pull her sari. Draupadi prayed super hard to Krishna, so he saved her. After that whole entanglement, Dhritarashtra got scared that Draupadi would curse them, so he offered to make an agreement with the Pandavas. It was said that a woman's curse was extremely powerful, so his fear was rational. He told the Pandavas if they go into the forest for 13 years, he would give them the kingdom. But during the last year, they can't be recognized by anybody that they are the Pandavas. Otherwise, they would have to redo the 13 years again. Long story short, they successfully completed the 13 years and went back to the kingdom to claim their part of the deal. But the Kauravas refused. The Pandavas were furious. This began the Mahabharata. Now, I could talk about the actual war in detail, but it would take hours, so this is going to be a quick summary. The Mahabharata was the biggest war ever and involved every kingdom in India. The Pandavas didn't have a strong enough army to defeat the Kauravas, so they turned to Krishna. Remember how I was talking about the avatar Krishna? Well, Krishna had the strongest army and the strongest kingdom, so both the Pandavas and the Kauravas asked for his aid in the war. To make a settlement, Krishna proposed a deal. They could either ask for his army or for him to help them in the war. But the catch was that Krishna said he wouldn't fight using his weapons or divine powers, but only give guidance. Arjuna and Krishna were good friends, so he chose Krishna and the Kauravas chose his army. But before the battle, Arjuna was feeling extremely depressed because as a soldier, it was his duty to fight with everything he has. But as a human, he didn't want to because he had to fight with his family. Arjuna turned to Krishna for advice. This was the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna told him that he shouldn't have to worry about killing his family because he wouldn't really be killing them. The soul can't die, so instead it reincarnates, so you would only be killing their physical form. Skeptical of this, Arjuna was still hesitant, so Krishna gave him the divine vision. Arjuna then saw the universe as it was in its true form and came to the realization. Fully understanding everything, Arjuna confidently marched out onto the battlefield and fought with all of his potential. After 18 difficult and gruesome days of fighting, the Pandavas finally emerged victorious. This is the story of the Mahabharata. There were so many in-betweens and other important details that weren't explored in this short video, but hopefully this video gave you a brief idea of the compelling story of the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is said to have every type of person imaginable. This isn't just a story, but also a lesson we can learn from to become the best version of ourselves we can be.